Shalom. First thing and foremost, I want to give all praises, glory, and honor that's due to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Rakakwadash. I want to give double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Blessings and salutations to the hopeful elect. Noise in the gospel abroad, lifting up the standard of Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, wherever it may be. This is just another lesson through the Spirit from Geoengineering Watch. What goes into the contrails, or what we known as the CHEM trails, and I have to abbreviate it because I'm not sure how YouTube's algorithm will respond to these particular sayings, because they like to deem everybody sea theorist, which they don't even use the word conspiracy in the correct term. Okay, conspiracy just simply means when two or more people are gathered together to do something nefarious, or conspiracy, which means with the spirit. Okay, but in fact, everything that's been transpiring in the last 3 years, in the last couple of decades, for real, have found out to be true. People that's been exposing these particular cabals. Now, this is from Geoengineering Watch, and as I know, I went into the polar vortex, just getting ready to hit Babylon. Well, technically, we are already in it, but let me go here real quick. Book of Clarence, and I gotta go see that. But polar vortex 2024. Okay, now it says polar vortex sends Arctic blast across America's heartland with temperatures plunging, and this is 3 hours ago, with temperatures plunging into dangerous levels. So I'm assuming that most brothers that's in, like the northern part of the country, Midwest, they will probably do sit downs. I don't think brothers are going to be really out there in that madness like us. We went out yesterday evening to kind of avoid this because, literally they said that wind chills are going to be below 25, 30 degrees, which is clearly unbearable. Okay, within 10 minutes, you're getting frostbites. And if you get frostbites and you're out there long enough, they will have to amputate. But it says polar vortex sending Arctic blasts across America's heartland with temperatures plunging to dangerous levels. Now, this is not natural. Okay, and I can prove that this is not natural because this article here, Geoengineering, goes into, it says aluminum snow and lab tests confirmed. Now, when you look at aluminum, you look at metals, you got cadmium, what is called cadmium, which is not supposed to be in the bloodstream. Aluminum, while you have certain metals or certain minerals that's supposed to be in the blood, like copper and zinc, a little silver here, a little silver there, those particular metals that's in the bloodstream. Aluminum is very toxic. Cadmium, what is called cadmium, that's very toxic. And oftentimes you go to these, I call them these falsifiers because they're not really physicians, but you go to these clinics, these death clinics, and they run a blood lab on you, or you ask them for a full panel. They will never reveal how toxic you are. Okay, because when you go to the mainstream hospitals, they have like a certain parameter on what they deem healthy. But if you go to like an actual herbologist or a person that deals with the holistic approach of the body, you will see that that their parameters are rather different. Okay, their measures are a little bit more stringent than the medical mainstream, because the medical mainstream is just in it to make money. Okay, their job is to sell you a medication, and they can make the money off of it. That's what they do. They don't really care about the health, but they'll never tell you how toxic it is. But in order to figure that out, you got to do what they call a hair lab analysis, which they have you to take hair from your, you can shave your head, or you can shave your pubes, and they can test it, and then they can find out how toxic you are. And a lot of it is due to these particular, these things here. Okay, so this is a 7-minute video. I may play half of it, not all of it, but showing you that this man is the devil, and this is the reason why we have to be delivered, man. Okay, because I got a list of effects that this shit indeed have on people, and I've experienced 90% of these symptoms over the years. Okay, so I know that this is the case. I'm looking outside right now, and I'm looking at a complete white sky, and guess what? It's not even clouds. It's it's what they called nuclear. It's like nucleic winter or nucleic snow, meaning that it's chemically based. It's not even real for real. This is why the shit don't melt. Okay, and this is why we have all these metals and pollutants in our bodies. Okay, so when you go back here, this polar vortex, it says millions of Americans are preparing for a bitter blast of Arctic air from Canada to plunge. Temperatures will be low zero, setting the stage for dangerous and potentially life-threatening stretch of winter weather conditions. It says the Fox forecasters say temperatures in the southern plains will drop to levels that haven't been seen since the Great Freeze of February 2021. I remember that, man. I went down to Orlando, but I've experienced like the first day of that shit, it was horrible. And when I came back, when we got back in town, you know, like when you come back from the airport, then, you know, you ride the shuttle. The shuttle took us like to a particular stop and we walked to the vehicle, to our cars and stuff. I mean, we spent probably 5 to 10 minutes loading up the cars. And I mean, I felt like I was radiated. I felt like I was poisoned being in that shit. You know why? Because it was chemically enhanced. It wasn't natural. So I'm not buying all this bullshit or that is coming from Canada. No, this is technology that they're using. This is chemical warfare, man. Okay, this man is at war with the people. All right, so I'm going to play this video real quick and we're going to get to precepts. But I'm also go through that other page too to show you, brothers, that this man is indeed trying to kill people off.
What's my safe flight story?
I'm a photographer, and when I'm driving, I see inspiration right through my glass. So when my windshield cracked, it had to be fixed right. I scheduled with safe...
Slovakia, man, you know, all these damn commercials. It's like you can't do none these days without commercials. YouTube, Twitter, all these particular platforms, man. You know, they always want to promote that nonsense, you know. But it's finna play, so Slovakia.
Air locked up in parts of Canada. All of that is going to be spilling through the northern interior of the United States. And with it, yeah, lots of snow. A blanket of snow is what we're anticipating in many spots. But really, I think that the biggest threat to this isn't necessarily going to be the snow, although, yes, it will be a threat of sorts. It's really going to be the Arctic blast and temperatures. You know, we were talking about it earlier, Bob, but like you look at the numbers, these are not wind chills. We're at 29 below zero.
That's actual air temperature, the ambient air temperature. It's without the wind, right, Michael?
Without the wind.
Minus 25 out there, and you get to the lower parts of that region. We look at Winnipeg, minus 15, but look where it's headed, in that direction, as you can clearly see. Yeah. That means we're going to see Cutbank right now. It's minus 28. You add the winds on top of this.
And these motherfuckers think this shit is funny, man. Bro, like, that's not natural. It says, frigid temperatures are building across the northern Rockies and plains where actual air temperatures are as low as negative 30 degrees and wind chills as cold as negative 60 degrees have been recorded Friday morning. That's not that, bro. You got places in our Antarctica that's not that cold. That's chemically enhanced, man. Like I said, you go and you spend 10 minutes out there, I guarantee you feel like you're getting ready to drop dead. And that's how I know that it's real, because last night, I want to say about 4 o'clock in the morning, I literally stopped. It felt like I stopped. I'm thinking I was giving up the spirit last night. I was laying in the bed. I felt like my heart was stopping. Like literally, like I couldn't even breathe, man. I was like, what the hell is going on? Because the shit they spraying in the air, you know?
And these wind chills are minus 54, so it's even colder than where it was last hour by a couple degrees.
Calgary at 48 degrees below zero, the biggest city there. And that is no joke. That can be super dangerous if you're outside with exposed skin for all of 5, maybe 10 minutes. We're talking about, you know, that can be life-threatening, not only for you, but for your furry friends as well. So parts of you know, western Minnesota, northwest Minnesota, that does include parts of the Dakotas as well. We're talking to you. It's going to be cold for you. It'll be cold for our pets. Make sure you bring them inside. I think it goes, you know, without saying that if you do plan on being outside, you've got to bundle up in multiple different layers. And Bob, all of this, by the way, it spills down.
Air, right. It's that Arctic air that just comes on down underneath that Arctic high pressure region. And it's going to last for several days. Once, Michael, we were looking at it before. Once it gets into the east half of the nation, it's going to swirl around there for the next 7 to 10 days. It moderates just a bit, but it is going to peak in intensity cold-wise overnight tonight through the next several days. So those wind chill warnings last until Tuesday for a lot of areas. He's talking about a very cold weekend. the start to next work week, too. Look at this Saturday. Wow, there you go. There, look at the numbers. Take a tumble. Sioux Falls on midnight on Saturday night, early Sunday morning. It will feel like minus 42. That's when it's going to start peaking out for you guys right there. That is just, that could be deadly if you're outside for sure. Stay inside.
Yeah, and not to mention the fact that in our nation's third largest city, that being Chicago, Illinois, 14 to 15 degrees below zero is what we're expecting for you in terms of wind chills. So this is dramatically cold air. Indianapolis, 29 degrees Friday afternoon might sound great, but look what happens by the time we get to Saturday morning into Sunday. We're down into the low single digits.
Yeah, and if you have fresh snow on the ground, that might even be underdone. So we'll see about that. All right, so that's one thing we're watching. We're going to continue to monitor the blizzard-like conditions that are starting to pound away at millions of Americans across the country. So make sure you've got us tuned in. Fox Weather app is always on. It's downloaded if you do it. It's free. And make sure you have those notifications turned on for severe weather.
Man, I ain't fucking Archer. That's a goddamn machine, man. Hey, but call all y'all about
What's my safe flight story?
I'm a photographer.
Place, man. This them plays, bro. But peep, it says Geoengineering Watch will start to release as of yet unseen footage from the filming of the dimming. It says this is the first installment. Aluminum nanoparticle fallout from climate engineering. These people are talking about climate changes. This is what's causing it. Okay, it ain't the people. It ain't the fact that cows poop and throw up and burp, eat grass and poop. No, man, that's natural. That's the natural anatomy of a beast, of a man, a beast. Okay, well, cows poop too much. Chickens flop wings too much. So therefore, we gotta do away with chicken because they flying too high. They laying too many eggs. But it says aluminum nanoparticle fallout from climate engineering operations are building up in our snow, soils, and runoff waters. It says the levels are far beyond alarming. It says lab test results of snow from the side of Northern California's Mount Shasta are a truly shocking example. Testing samples from this formerly pristine water source have revealed levels of aluminum that are so astronomically high that the meltwater can only be considered completely contaminated. Wow, because when you look in the air, like right now, they're up there spraying that shit right now. You don't see it because they're above the blanket, but they're spraying that shit. Like last year, like the middle of December when we had like that 50, 60 degree week, you saw all these particular chemicals in the air. This is what they were doing. What they did is the result of this. They're creating this shit. This is why this man has to be taken out of power, man. He will literally kill everything and everyone if he's not stopped. But Yahweh Shah is going to stop him. But it says the testing samples from this formerly pristine water source. I read that already. It says the 7-minute video contains the important geoengineeringwatch.org footage, but the testimony revealed in this video is from a highly decreed former USFS government scientist, and it serves as a sobering wake-up call and a warning for us all. Okay? It says it's all needed the critical battle to wake up populations to what is coming. We must make every day count. Share credible data from a credible source. Make your voice heard. Awareness. Blase, blase. Like I found out that they're banning this operation. I was just looking at a video that it was sent to me. They're banning it in one state, I believe. But the dude was like, wait a minute. Why was this made legal in the first place? Because if Esau didn't fuck up the earth and the ecosystems, he wouldn't have to geoengineer. He wouldn't have to create these storms or this manufactured weather. Like it's a movie that came out in 2017 called Geostorm. I think it is on Hulu, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe on Hulu or Prime. I think it's on Hulu. Pretty good movie, but they show you how they went up into the atmosphere and they was like creating these particular weather patterns through these satellites, man, and creating storms. Like they was creating blizzards in Hawaii and shit like that, man. Places unheard of, you know. But let me get a couple of precepts, then I'm gonna play the video. All right, so this is the book of Job 9:24. It says, the earth is given into the hands of the wicked. He covered the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? Okay, it says the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. And who is the wicked? Esau. Okay, Esau, Edom is the wicked. And this is the reason why, the Lord is getting ready to take his ass out of power, because he's literally destroying everything, man. Everything and everybody. Okay, this is what Yahweh Shai said. Matthew 24, and I'm going to start at verses 19. It says, and woe to them that are with child, and to them that give suck in those days. But pray ye that your flight be not in winter, neither on a Sabbath day, right? And right now we're in the dead of winter. Okay, these winters are now. This ain't like the winters we had when we were kids, even though they was experimenting with it back then. But they upped the ante within the last 20 years or so. Okay, I remember back in the 90s, we actually had real snow. You know what I'm saying? We go out there and you could tell that the winter was actually a lot. It was more natural. You felt more denser. You felt more of a humidity in the air. It felt real. You know, kids can't go out and play in this shit, man. But hey, you couldn't keep us in the house. We look forward to when the snow was coming. You know, just start snowing. We'd be out there from the morning to night just playing in the snow. Snowball fights, running, you know what I'm saying? Sled, throwing fight. You know, we'd be out there kicking it. I remember our parents used to they said, drop them shoes at the front door, take them shoes, them socks off, drop it right there at the front door. You know, because we used to go out there and enjoy ourselves. It wasn't none of this craziness that they're doing now. You know, but now, hey, kids can't play in this stuff because they're drop dead. You know, we used to eat the snow, we used to melt the snow, make a little water from it, man, you know, even though it probably wasn't the safest thing back then to do. But we did it as kids. But now the snow, it can't melt because it's chemicals. And this is right in the face of the people, and yet people are still oblivious to it. You know, they're mad because you're not getting snow on Christmas. But wait a minute, this is not natural weather. This doesn't even feel like a winter. It feels like we're under some type of chemical blanket, and you can feel it in your body. You know, Matthew's 24, and I'm gonna start at 20. It says, "But pray ye that your flight be not in the winter, neither on a Sabbath day." It says, "For then should be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, no ever shall be." So Yahweh Shai told us that we were gonna come into Polaris times like this, wicked times, evil times, man. That this man is getting ready to literally try to take out everybody on the planet Earth. Okay, then it says, "Except those days should be shortened, there should no flesh be saved, but for the elect's sake those days should be shortened." And when you break this down to people and you filter it through the scriptures, it goes right over people's head. If you tell people, yeah, they're doing this, they're doing that, they're doing this, and then you go to the Bible, people just look at you like you got 12 heads or something. And you can't tell a Christian this, because a Christian, they don't understand the Bible any goddamn way. You know what I'm saying? Oh, that's for another million years, brother. Jesus, that ain't gonna happen. Okay. You seen what happened when homeboy got burnt up in that Tesla alive? And, hey, hey, I would never get a Tesla. Lord's will, man. That's a car that I would not drive, man. Them cars have so many issues. So many people got recalls on Teslas. And hey, at that point, that guy got burnt alive in that car. That's right. That one death, that incident is enough to send them into bankruptcy, to the point that that company could be completely shut down. Whoever that man's family is that burnt up in that Tesla, hey, man, if I was your family, I will sue them for every penny that they got. Because that's a damn death trap. They have a chemical in a battery that once it ignites or combusts, you can't put it out. It's like a chemical in it. When it causes the fire in the battery, then the battery overheats. You can't put the fire out. And by the car being made of electric, by it being an electric vehicle, everything shuts itself down. The computer locks up. It shuts itself down. You can't even get out of the damn car. This is why, hey, man, if you driving them damn Teslas, you need to have like a sledgehammer or something that can break the window, or have you something that can shatter the glass, man. Because, hey, that's going to be a common thing. Fucking car catch on fire, you trapped in there. That's horrible, man. But reading it in the New Living Testament, it says here, "For then there will be great anguish, then at any time since the world began, and it will never be so great again, because this is the last rulership of this devil." It says, "In fact, unless that the time of calamity is shortened, not a single person will survive, but it will be shortened for the sake of God's chosen ones, man, the elect." Okay, so this is some of the effects that this stuff have on you, mainly men of color. Okay, and this was sent to me. Now it says short-term effects of trails. Allergies, I experienced that. I've never had allergies before, but as of a couple of years ago, I've gotten allergies. I had anxiety. I won't say I have asthma, but I've had bronchitis since I was a child. I've had extreme brain fog at times, man. Sometimes it's like you're trying to think, you can't think. I know a million songs that I like to listen to, and I can only remember 10 of them. That's why I'm pretty sure when I'm with the brothers, they probably like, "Why do you listen to the same shit all the time?" I'm like, "Because, brother, I can't think of I don't remember nothing else past that." You know, even with the scriptures, it's like, yeah, I know a bunch of precepts, but I can only remember them and recall them in certain times. This is why we bring out the same precepts, because shit, brain fog, man. And what I do every week, and I do a heavy metal detox. I do this ionizer, and I put my feet like in this little tub, and the metals in there are conducive, and they create these particular particles in the water, and it detox things from the liver and from the kidneys. But also I take a bentonite clay bath, which is designed to pull the metals and the impurities out of the bloodstream. I use bentonite clay. I use like a cup of bentonite clay. I use a cupful of apple cider vinegar. I use eucalyptus. I put like 2 or 3 drops of tea tree oil in the water. I use Epsom salt and like a tablespoon of baking soda, and I soak in that for like 30 minutes, and you'll sweat that shit out. You know, but you got to drink a lot of water, because the water, you get dehydrated, and, you know, you get lightheaded because, you know, your body is detoxing, but you want to drink water to flush the rest of those toxins out of the bloodstream. And it's a shame you got to do that every week just to keep yourself somewhat in optimal condition. Breathing difficulties, yep. It's like I said last night, I feel like my damn heart stopped last night. Chronic sore throat or raspy throat, I don't really have that. I've had dizziness, I've had ear aches, I have eye and skin irritations, yep. Everybody got gas, you know, and this shit causes digestive issues too. Not necessarily flu-like symptoms. I don't really have too many headaches, but I've had heat flashes. I had itching unexplained. I had metal taste in the mouth. I had nausea, feel like I was getting ready to throw up, vertigo. Haven't had nosebleeds, but I have like a obstruct. Like I went to the ENT, man, and they took a scan of my sinus cavities, and they said, man, you may have to come in and get surgery on one of your cavities, because one of your you know, your nose is basically like a humidifier. It soaks in the good shit and filters out the bad shit. But one of my nostrils are so off to the point, like, if I have like a powder up on my nose, I can't even get it out of my nose, bro. It's just like I have to use these, what they call saline rinses, to kind of clear my nostrils out, because I can't just blow out typical snot like that unless it's like mucus like. It's horrible, bro. We all fucked up, man. Nausea, panic attacks. I don't really have panic attacks. I don't really cough. I've had rashes, respiratory problems, short-term memory loss, yup, stomach aches, yup. No suicidal thoughts. This place will make you want to commit suicide. I've had ringing in the ear. Sometimes, man, I don't know if you brothers ever noticed, but like sometimes if you come past like certain vehicles or like certain frequencies, sometimes it feel like your ear's stopped up. Like they send a frequency to your inner ear and it gets stopped up. That happens quite from time to time. You know, long-term effects, acid reflux, I've had that. I had it real bad last year to the point I had to repair my whole digestive tract. ADHD shit, I got that. Allergies, I don't have Alzheimer's. Aluminum buildup in the pineal gland, yep. Autism, no, I don't have that. Autoimmune disease, shit, who knows? Never had blood in the urine. Borderline personality disorder. Shit, I'm probably in fucking bipolar. No type of cancer is the Lord's will. The water, how about you, Shy? Chronic fatigue, not necessarily sometimes. Constipation, yep. I've had that shit. That fucked me up last year. Depression, yep. Easy bruising, yep. Eye problems, not necessarily. But eye pressure, yep. Floaters in the eyes, yep. I got that. Gastritis, I had that. Heart arrhythmias, I had that. All that shit, bro. I had at least 90% of these symptoms from working outside, you know, all messed up, man. So yeah, man, we gotta get the fuck up out of here, bro. This shit is it's getting bad, man. Okay, so I'm gonna play this precept. This is the book of Psalm 17, and I'm gonna start at verses 8. It says, "Keep me as the apple of thy eyes, and hide me under from the shadow of thy wings. And through the grace of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, says, through the mercies we're not consumed." Because it's only through the mercy that of Yahweh Shem Yahushua that we're still here and kicking. You know, it's an average person to be dead and taking all this shit. But I kid you not, I experienced about 90% of those symptoms on that list. And bam, this explains it. But it says, "From the wicked that oppress me, from my deadly enemies that compass me about." So, hey, man, it might not hurt to put a damn mask on. You know how we used to get on the dummies that wear masks in a car due to the you know what? But hey, it may benefit you to actually wear a fucking mask out here because the air is so toxic. And I realized, like, the Jetsons, the reason why they was above the Earth atmospheres because the Earth was basically polluted with radiation. I didn't know that. You know, Elder had to break that down. I was like, I thought it was just some futuristic shit. They had to elevate society, and they had to, you know, advance in society because the Earth was so polluted to the point you won't even be able to live on the planet no more. It was like that in that movie Elysium too. All the undesirables had to stay beneath while the elites went up into Elysium, which was like a man-made atmosphere in Leo and lower Earth orbit. But it says, from the wicked that oppress me, from my deadly enemies who compass me about. It says, they are enclosed in their own fat, and with their mouth they speak proudly. Now they have compassers in our steps, and they have set their eyes bowing down to the earth, man. Hey, with them planes and shit, they're spraying them chemicals into the atmosphere. And basically, we're intaking those chemicals, man. So the Lord got to destroy this devil, man. Straight up, man. He got to get this man out of here. But one more precept, and I'm going to end it. And I'm going to play the little 7-minute video. Lord's will, they don't take it down. But this is Revelation 11, and I'm going to start at verses. Let me go here. King James Version. Revelation 11:18. And it says here, and the nations were angry, and thy wrath is come, in the time of the dead, that they should be judged, the dead as you heathens, and that thou shouldest give a reward unto the servants, the prophets, and to the saints, and to them that fear thy name, small and great, and shouldest destroy them which destroy the earth. And this man is destroying the earth, if I may add. But anyway, I'm going to end it there. Giving all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh Bashim, Yahweh Shai, Bashim Kakwadash. Lord's will, you were edified. Until the next lesson. Shalom.
So here's the big dogs. Since 2006, the snow on Mount Shasta has 5 times more aluminum, 61,000 micrograms per liter, than the soil underneath it. Pure white snow has more aluminum in it than mud. Can you beat that? The snow water is unsafe to drink on Mount Shasta. How can white snow have more aluminum than mud? Now, the aluminum content of rain should be 0, with a pH of 5.5. When jets are not spraying, maybe so. When the jets are spraying, we get up to 13,100 micrograms per liter and pH up to 100 times normal. It goes really alkaline. This is over 13 times the federal safety limits for drinking water. Don't drink the water.
Greetings, gentlemen. Thank you for the opportunity. I'm a retired scientist, bachelor's, cum laude in forestry, master's in zoology, 35 years, USDA scientist, Soil Conservation Service, U.S. Forest Service, civil service equivalents in range, wildlife, fisheries, geology, agriculture, soils, ornithology, entomology, botany, mycology, hydrology. Am I qualified to speak? Just letting you know. Okay, you want some figures? Okay, latest water test. Tested the rain. 13,100 micrograms per liter of aluminum in the rain in 2013. Normally, it should be 0. So 13,100 is pretty damn much, folks. It used to be 0. Then it was 100s in the 2000s. And then since 2010, it's into the 1,000s and the latest 13,100. In the snow on Mount Shasta, pristine Mount Shasta, 8,000 foot level, 61,000 micrograms per liter. 4 times the amount that is found in the soil up there. Where in the hell is this stuff coming from if it's not coming from the soil? Now, normal, again, it's, these tests are international in scope. We're seeing this all over the world, guys. The aluminum in the soil has doubled in the last 10 years. Aluminum blocks essential nutrients. I am unable in my garden to restore normal pH, and that's because nanoparticles are now in the circulatory systems of both plants and humans. So welcome, fellow guinea pigs. The collapse and decrease of agriculture is something I worry about.
Okay, you can lead into precipitation testing. Francis, what have you done? How's that gone?
The way I get most of my data, in fact, I should say the preponderance, 90% of it, there's a little bit from a natural observation, but 90% of it comes from testing snow water and rainwater. And I get it as soon as possible after after it falls. And it varies also a little bit on whether you get it right in the first wave of precipitation that comes over for a front, and there's always more in the first wave than in the end of a front when it's coming through. It's a 5-day storm. It's always a lot more on day 1 than there is on day 5 of
A lot more contamination.
Yeah, a lot more contamination.
Okay.
Like in a first wave that came through one time here, we measured the snow, and the snow was 61,000 parts per billion, that's micrograms per liter, of aluminum. Now, that makes your hair stand on end when it's that much.
Put that into context for us, that how high above what we should expect is that, and we know that we should probably be less than 1 ppb, we're 61,000. Put that into context if you would.
Okay, normal is 0, and you're getting 61,000. Normal would be 0, or maybe to allow for, say, some people will say it's contaminated. Well, a contamination rate would be like 1 part per billion, which is a heck of a lot different from 61,000 parts per billion. Even the soil is not that high. There's more aluminum in the precipitation coming down than there is in the soil. That's very scary. And then, of course, in the rain, it varies depending on whether it's the start of a front or the end of a front, and that varies again from in the tens of thousands to a couple hundreds, and occasionally you'll get something that's less than 100, but it's almost always in the thousands.
Of parts per billion.
Yeah, parts per billion or micrograms per liter.
And for these, again, that we should really ideally expect nothing, not even 1 ppb, and we're talking about hundreds or thousands of parts per billion. Would you not, we would have to consider that highly toxic snow and rain as far as human consumption.
The federal government has a toxic limit of 50 parts per billion or micrograms per liter of aluminum. And we're talking, 50 is the limit for federal. And we're talking local people that are drinking rainwater that's doing thousands. But when it starts going into the thousands, like we're getting in rain and snow water now, and I'm not talking just Mount Shasta, I'm talking all over the United States. You're getting in the thousands.
Of parts per billion.
Of parts per billion, micrograms per liter.
Reminding people that.
It's just astounding